And now, Cass, we've just got a quick bit of time to look ahead to the Scottish League Cup final. So not only do we have the first domestic trophy up for grabs in England, it's likewise in Scotland, and it's Rangers and Celtic who are taking on each other. Before we quickly get your thoughts on it, let's just hear from two legends who've been involved many a time in these clashes, Ali McCoist and Neil Lennon.
The results have absolutely improved. I think the level of performance has also improved to a degree, but there have been one or two games where, well, I think the best thing you could say, they might not have won them, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, but they've been getting over the line. But I definitely think, and I don't know whether Neil agrees, I think the Old Firm games, like we know anything can happen, boys, we know that. But I think the gap has closed a little bit. I was at the last game at Ibrox, which was a good game. I thought Celtic started very well, and then I thought Rangers were very, very good second half, and then Celtic get the late equaliser. So I think it's a tough one to call. I really do.
It's really intense. It's so, the build-up, and I just think the best bit about it is when the game starts and you can sort of get lost in the game.
Yeah.
And Coyce's right. You can't. I mean, Celtic will probably go in as favourites for the game, but you can't call it. We won the League Cup in 2019 against Rangers, but we didn't play well at all. Rangers were the better team, and we were in great form going into the game. It can go either way. I think the first goal in these games are always really important. Celtic are in great form. They've been perfect since the draw at Ibrox. To be fair, so have Rangers as well. They've got a great win last week, but it counts for nothing. And it'll just be which team adapts best to the atmosphere, the conditions, and the game itself. So for me, it's up in the air. I think in terms of the league, they're 9 points clear, Celtic, with a huge goal difference. I think the league's done.
Yeah.
But psychologically, if Celtic win it, it'll totally deflate Rangers. And if Rangers win it, it'll give them, a big psychological lift going into the rest of the season.
So that was Ali McCoist in the Rangers corner, Neil Lennon in the Celtic one. And what is it? Rangers are second in the Scottish Premiership, Celtic top. And what is it? 9-point difference. Hence why they're saying they think the league is already done. Celtic, they're saying, going to win that one. But fascinating, actually. Michael Beale, as we know, took over as the Rangers manager. And he's unbeaten since taking over. The only drop points in that run was against Celtic in the league in a 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
so
2-2 draw.
It's quite a fascinating matchup that we're going to see today.
Yeah, and that 2-2 draw was at Ibrox, and it's the start of the year, wasn't it?
Right. Absolutely.
Not New Year's Day, the day after second. And they've been on a good run since early November, really, Glasgow Rangers, and been doing well. Celtic are quite a long distance away, 9 points in front in SPL, and they've been a really classy team. Yeah, I'm still surprised how Celtic, and you can even make this argument with Rangers, how they've both not done well in Europe. Because Celtic look a far better team that should have done more in the Champions League this year. But certainly, tough call. Loved the game. Played in a couple myself. It was probably the most hostile atmosphere I'd ever played in.
Ask you, is it?
And in a good way, in a good way, because it was just feisty from the build-up. Even being in the hotel the morning of the game, I had some friends come up and just come to the game, and just the whole atmosphere of the day and the build-up to the week, the players' meetings that were quite funny, and then obviously if you got beat, the Monday morning feeling going into, and there'll be a meeting after the defeat as well at Celtic Park. I can remember that, and there were great, obviously, duels, big matchups everywhere. And it's a tight one because Rangers have improved, like you said.
They have improved under Michael Beale. As I say, unbeaten under him. They are, though, Celtic going through an impressive unbeaten run as well. 17 games. You have to go back to, I think, September for the last time they lost domestically in Scotland. They have the best attack, best defence when it comes to the Scottish Premiership, Celtic, and they're seeking a 21st Scottish League Cup. It's a 3:00 kickoff at Hampden Park for this one.